Hey everyone, it's Crypto Chris from Crypto PowerTips here. I'm creating this video as a welcome to everyone who's new, who's joined the community. Our community has grown by about 25% since my last video, and I'm really happy about that. But I know there's still a lot of people who may not know about our community, so I'm creating this video to showcase what we're about and what we're trying to achieve. So Crypto PowerTips is essentially going to be a community online of people who are educating themselves, exchanging information, sharing strategies, and using the tools that we create as a community to better help bridge the gap between new investors and smart investors. And this presentation will gloss over a bit about what we're about and what we're trying to do. So without further ado, let's begin. So table of contents. These are a couple of things we're going to be discussing in this video. What is Bitcoin? How does it work? What is investment lending? What are the pros and cons of investment lending? And how much can I earn with interest? How can crypto power tips help? And where can I get started? So these are all valid questions that I usually see day to day. So hopefully this video will answer a lot of those questions for future members. So what is a Bitcoin and how does it work? Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency and worldwide payment system. The most important thing you need to know about Bitcoin is that it's just a network of peer-to-peer transactions. It's mathematical data that's pulled together, stored, and ultimately exchanged between parties. It's done through a technology that allows it to be encrypted, and this is referred to as cryptography. And a lot of people use this to transact value into other things, other currencies that currently exist. Bitcoin is just one of many, and it was created or released in 2009 by a person named Satoshi Nakamoto, and so a lot of this information is mostly widely known, but just for anyone who's currently getting into this who may not know anything about it, this is just a preference, a basic understanding, a basic fundamental understanding of what a Bitcoin represents to the world as a whole. So it can work without central entities like banks or a single administrator. It's built off of a network which in its sense is more decentralized, not entirely decentralized, but more decentralized than the things that we're currently used to. You can find more information on the Wikipedia for Bitcoin, or you can join our Discord and find more information there. I will be creating more detailed videos on the technology behind Bitcoin and what I personally think from my research and my understanding and what the community has brought together as a whole. But let's move on to the next thing. What is investment lending? Now, before I get into investment lending, I just want to say that there are multiple passive income methods currently. And a lot of what we talk about in the Discord community are different methods that you can earn money passively without having to exchange your time or your physical work for the value that you gain from it. And one of these passive income strategies is investment lending. A lot of people in this community are currently in investment lending or considering getting into it. So let's go through what it actually is. Investment lending within cryptocurrency is a term used to describe lending Bitcoin, BTC, or other forms of value like Litecoin or any sort of other altcoin that is accepted to platforms in exchange for daily interest over time. So what I mean by this is that when you give someone crypto, because crypto in nature is typically volatile, usually volatile, most of the cryptos in the market are volatile. They can either go up in value or go down in value. And what companies are now starting to do is they see this volatility as a way to essentially pay out people interest over time. So if you pay them in that volatile crypto, they will take it and they will make investments or trade against it for you to gain passive interest over time without you having to do anything past that point. Traditionally, these lending platforms come with risks. There are risks with every investment that you ever make in life, but with investment lending platforms, they tend to be higher risks with higher rewards. but have potential to turn low investment amounts into very high profits through daily interest gains. So with these platforms, you could kind of consider them the high risk, high reward end of the tier. Although there are safer, more low reward tiers that you can get into, more passive strategies that are safer, that yield lesser gains. And we'll be going over these strategies in the Discord in the coming videos. But this is the primary one that most of the people who are getting into this community will be familiar with. And for anyone who is unfamiliar, will be met with a lot of information about investment lending, which is why I'm covering this initially so that questions overall can be summed up to one video. There are 3 steps to beginning earning interest with any individual lending platform. The first is to acquire Bitcoin or any other currency. The second the second being to exchange that Bitcoin for equal value of the lender's token, which for some companies like BitConnect or Davercoin, for instance, have their own token. You would exchange that crypto, that volatile crypto, for their volatile crypto, which creates exchange, which creates transactional value for the company. And then the third step is to then invest tokens gained for daily interest. And I have these represented in images below. You can see purchase Bitcoin from an exchange, exchange Bitcoin for lender tokens, and then lend those tokens within the platform to earn daily interest. So let's move on. The pros and cons of investment lending. This is a very hot topic within the community. A lot of people are always discussing these things, so I kind of filter them out here. Keep in mind that there are details and things that you can discuss, but for the purposes of keeping this video as brief as possible, I will just blanket these out into 6 categories. So let's start with the pros. The pros is the majority of this is daily interest. The majority of the available platforms offer a daily interest of about 1% a day. This is not guaranteed, but it's about 1% a day. And these rates are not guaranteed. They are often the average of most platforms. And then there's compounding. This allows the investor to reinvest profit gain from interest or commissions to raise the overall value of the initial investment made. So while let's say you invest $100 into a company on Monday, on Tuesday you will get a daily interest from that investment. Let's say 1% of 100 is $1. On Tuesday you will have 101. Typically speaking, you will be able to take that $1 and reinvest it into your active investment so that on Wednesday you have 1% of 102. And this is what compounding is. And then the last pro of using these companies is referral commissions. Commissions are singularly the most important part of what these lenders offer. The majority of lenders offer in tiers of initial and daily commission gains from referrals, which can also be compounded. So the money or the referral commission bonus, which is usually represented around 5% for a first tier and then lower percents for additional tiers, can be compounded into your active investment the same way that your daily interest is. And this is what ultimately creates the high reward aspect of these platforms. So let's talk about the cons. The high risk. These platforms are very risky investments. It is traditionally advised to invest very little into any lending platform initially. This way you can mitigate any potential losses. And what I mean by that is any great form of potential loss. So investing $100 can seem very inconsequential to someone who say makes a couple of $1,000s a month working their traditional career path. But for anyone getting into this space, they should invest the lowest amount initially and work with that moving forward. This is some advice from someone who is currently actively investing into these platforms and has a good amount of experience. And a lot of our strategies and what we choose to do with these companies will be talked about within the community. So definitely join the Discord if you want to hear more about these things in detail. So another con is unsustainability. Although the majority of the platforms can last years, it is widely accepted that they are not self-sustainable and ultimately collapse over a period of time, which can vary depending on the success of Bitcoin or the platform itself. So a lot of these platforms tie their success to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes up in value, it allows them to sustain themselves much longer. And if Bitcoin goes down, it's it's arguable that they can trade against the volatility of Bitcoin going down, but ultimately the true success of these platforms depend on how well they carry the platform by legitimizing themselves, or how well Bitcoin increases in value, or whichever currency they accept. Because if the volatility increases, then ultimately just from them holding the Bitcoin that you're exchanging for their tokens can, in a sense, carry them for years at a time. And then the last con is the controversy. Due to the high risk and the unsustainability factors that I've mentioned, there are those within this crypto community who condemn platforms of this nature. And I'm understanding of both sides. My personal opinion, and the personal opinion of those within this community, is that every investment you make comes with a risk. You have high risk and then you have low risk. So we're not subject to particularly caring about the levels of the risk. It's more so an information sharing process so that we can see what these risks are. We don't shun anyone from talking about things. We don't discourage anyone from talking about things. Share as much information that you have, share as much research as you've done, so that we can say, okay, this is the highest risk and this is the highest reward, and this is the lowest risk and this is the lowest reward. And this comes with every part of the cryptocurrency space. When you invest in something, whether you're investing money, whether you're investing your wealth or your time to achieve it or to accumulate more of it, whatever it is you're trying to achieve, there always comes a risk that it will not be worth what the time or the wealth that you put into it. So there is risk in every form of this crypto space. But moving on, we went over the pros and cons. Now, how much can you earn with interest? Now, although investment lending is on the high risk tier, it also comes with high reward. So within the first quarter, traditionally speaking, by most of the standards of these investment lending platforms, you can make 35% of gains within the first month, 80% of gains within the second month, and 140% gains within the third month of your first quarter of the year. A lot of these platforms are truly profitable by the fourth quarter. And typically speaking, if a platform extends beyond the third quarter and lasts within the fourth quarter, then it has made such a significant amount of gains that it will last for the foreseeable future if it continues to legitimize itself and if it continues to generate success off of the wealth it's generated. A lot of this is very similar to hedge funds. But moving on, so quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, quarter four, these percentages are representations of what you can gain over time. Beginning, middle, and end is a representation of the starting of the first quarter, and the end is the remaining time left within that. So we got the first 3 months, the first 6 months, the first 9 months, the first 12 months. Now, typically speaking, low amounts of investments yield high percentages, but they also are minuscule in comparison to, higher tiers of investment. Someone investing $5,000 will gain much more profit over time than someone who invests only $100. So there's a lot that goes into calculating these things, and what we're going to be getting into in the community and the things that we create will help you understand what you can do or what you can achieve overall. So moving on, how can crypto power tips help? So a lot I've been talking about is how we're going to help people. Well, for starters, the educational video library for investors, people that have invested into these platforms with us and are connected as a community will have free access to all the information that we create in forms of video courses. Much like Udemy, you'll be able to access your account, you'll be able to log into the website and view a video course on a particular subject so that you can learn about how to create your own crypto, for you to learn what current platforms, how they work, how their dashboards work. Every part of investing, mining, staking, or trading your investment, we will cover in videos, and we will also have instructors come on from popular YouTubers to individual traders who have years experience. There's a lot that we're going to achieve with this website and this business as a whole, but for the investors who are part of our community, will have complete access to everything that we build. And this is something typically you will see people charge hundreds and hundreds of dollars for, which you can get access to this for free. So that should be incentive enough, but we have even more. So let's go on to the next thing. and that is the Discord community. So what does this Discord community, what is it going to achieve for you in total? So by being a part of the Discord, you will be able to earn rewards. So if you're an instructor or you're certified through the library system and you've watched enough of these courses and you've accumulated enough information, you will be appointed to community support to help others within the community learn what they need to learn so that they can make smarter investments. And through this, we will create rewards for you in terms of Satoshi. So we will probably create a an account on something like Patreon for us to sum up all of the rewards that we can give to the community support team. And this way, this will create incentive to stay within the platform, to use the platform to help others and create a positive environment and a rewarding environment. You will have access to our tools so that whatever we make, personally, I've been programming for years. I can create applications and websites and tools for you to use. And there are other programmers who are also moderators within this community and community support who have technical backgrounds to create tools for you to help make more incentivized, more informed decisions when you're creating investments. And this will be accessible anytime for anyone who's a part of the community. And also we will share information. The power of the community is what will make us all successful investors. If we have people across the globe who are researching things, then we'll be able to find information faster and make better decisions as a whole. So let's go a bit into the details. Find real-time information on your investments from hundreds of individuals who are researching, trading, investing, and sharing information with the community from across the globe. So while you're sleeping, someone could be researching something that you may not necessarily have time to research. Also, gain access to our tools and become eligible for rewards for being part of the community. So the rewards part also extends to people who are investors, but more so to people who are part of the community support. We want to incentivize education. The more you know, the more you learn, the more you earn. We want to incentivize people to educate themselves on what it is they're actually talking about, and we will reward those people, but we will also be rewarding our investors because they've got skin in the game. They're working towards a higher goal with the rest of the community, and they're ultimately what is driving this community. Moving on, instructions for beginners. Now, these instructions are just basic instructions if you have no experience about how to get into any part of this, just to answer a couple of basic questions. First thing you want to do is sign up with an exchange. These exchanges are like the traditional stock exchanges where buyers and sellers trade based on the current market price of cryptocurrencies, with the exchange playing the middleman. These types of trading platforms generally take a fee each transaction. Some of these exchanges also allow users to convert fiat currency like US dollar into cryptocurrency like Bitcoin at the market price. Coinbase is an example of one of these types of exchanges, but keep in mind there are multiples like Kraken, Gemini, and various others. You would have to Google search which exchange you would personally want to use, do your own due diligence, learn the details of the exchange. Now, for now, you can register you can join our community and become part of a community, but in time we will allow you to register on the Crypto PowerTips website. If you visit the website now, cryptopowertips.com, you will be redirected to our Discord community, but in time we will allow it and open it up for the community for everyone to start registering their accounts. The website will be coming out soon. I can't give a correct specific time date, but it will be out soon. The library of Crypto PowerTips is the main repository for information regarding the cryptocurrency world and investment strategies. This entire guide is to give you an overview of resources at the Crypto PowerTips website, as well as serve as a starter guide to becoming a cryptocurrency investment lender or any other passive income strategy you would like to be a part of that extends outside of investment lending. For more information, you can visit our website, or you can click the link in the description down below to join our Discord community. In whole, I really hope that you take the time to join the community and become part of this movement. A lot of the sponsors that you will have in this community will be people who are educated, people that are invested in your success as much as their own. And again, the people who are actually running this Discord have programming experience. We're not just people who woke up one day and decided to do crypto. We have built applications, we have built websites, we have built brands. We will teach you every step of the process to emulate the parts of the community that are becoming successful. So ultimately, you join the community, see what we're about, and stay for the long haul, because we project to make large gains through this new movement. The market is still in its infancy. We have much room to grow. There's a lot of people making a lot of money in a lot of areas. We need to make one space for everyone to know what's going on and how to make money. So it's essentially what we're achieving, and I hope to see you in the community. All right.